There are some people who would. Cool. So those people who didn't join can view the recording. Yeah, so this is what this is, and I think the next 1 hour will cover the context of what Glyphic chatbot is and what a chatbot is versus the new feature, the groups automation that we're introducing. Just like the main problem statement behind us, taking up this feature, and we'll do a live demo. So all of you folks will kind of like have you join the group, and then we'll see how it works. And then yeah, we'll try to keep as much time for questions as possible. So just like a context about Glyphic's chatbot, Glyphic, like so far, Glyphic was, like Glyphic is a platform which allows NGOs to create chatbots, and then that chatbots are like the flows that can be used to send education content, quizzes to students, parents, teachers, to any, which include things like sending media, sending these interactive messages. Um, not just for education, but a lot of people in civic action, climate action, and healthcare. Basically, this is how the Glyphic chatbot is being used. So about 90 plus active NGOs are using it as we speak, and a lot of conversations are happening. But the catch here is all these conversations are happening one-on-one. Basically, like the conversations are happening between the organization's phone number and the end beneficiary. So it's like like while the organization is talking to many people at the same time, but for the end user, it's like they are talking to the one organization. It's like one DM that's going on. So basically, this is how Glyphic platform works. There's a NGO staff who have set up their Glyphic instance. They can create flows using Glyphic instance. Any message they send or receive through the or any flows that they create, um, they, they can it reaches the end beneficiary in a direct message from the organization through Gupshup platform, through WhatsApp Business API, and then any response they get is also routed in the same way. So so this is the present context that we were operating in all this while. And one major, so this basically the architecture that you're seeing on your screen right now, there's an official offering of WhatsApp ecosystem. It's called WhatsApp Business API. The problem here is WhatsApp, any number which is linked to a WhatsApp Business API, it then cannot be added to a WhatsApp group. So if you try to add a chatbot number to a group, it'll automatically not allow the number to be part of the group. Before I proceed any further, does anyone, because I know there are some new organizations who have not used a chatbot, does anyone have any questions before we go ahead to this point? You can feel free to raise your hand or use the chat box to type your question and send. Someone from our team will be able to answer your question. If you don't have a question, yeah. Shraddha? Okay. So if you have any questions, you can pause, but right now I'll quickly go ahead. So this is the context we were operating in. Basically, the idea is a WhatsApp business API phone number cannot be part of the groups. What we have introduced and what we have seen NGOs share problem. There's a problem statement that also, apart from having a one-on-one chat with with the end beneficiary, there is a need for organizations to have end beneficiaries a part of WhatsApp groups, which kind of creates the social so like a way for them to see what other people are also doing and get socially influenced like that. So orgs have to manage large number of groups. Sometimes it can be like up to 100 or even more, and this kind of involves a lot of manual effort for sending messages, tracking engagement, moderating discussions, and like just to get an idea of what's going on, etc. So this is what, and there is no one place, there's no platform which enables you to do that. All of this has to be done manually through your by your team members who are part of your team. So this is the problem that we have discovered. I'll quickly, what I'm going to do is I'll quickly start a poll. I'll be really helpful if you if we can take like 2 minutes to kind of like have like have you respond to these questions. So what I want to understand is, does your organization use WhatsApp groups to communicate? How many WhatsApp groups does your organization needs to manage? And if you have used a chatbot before or no. So it'll be really helpful if you can please let me know if you can see the survey, like the poll being sent out to you. So we have so far one organization who needs to manage up to at least 50 groups. We'll leave it open for another 2 minutes, just so that you have a fair understanding of, other NGOs who are also part of this webinar. What's the context that they operate in. So we have six responses so far, out of which five use WhatsApp groups. Five need to manage WhatsApp groups. Yeah, and usually it's falling in the range of 50 to 100. Up to 50 is majority and this thing. So thank you all for sharing. I'll just maybe I'll allow one more minute and then we'll close this poll. Total about 12 people have answered so far. We'll probably just allow like 130 more seconds and then we can go ahead. Yeah, so about like just from this group of 17 to 17 people, there are I think 11 out of 12 who have responded, they use WhatsApp groups, as in WhatsApp groups to communicate with beneficiaries. So that's a wide chunk of groups. Majority need to manage up to 50 groups. Up to 50 groups also can be a pretty big deal to manage, and I'm sure there are a lot of um, problems that come up with like managing these groups, setting community, guidelines, etc. And majority of them have not yet used Glyphic. So thank you all. We'll quickly go ahead. So this is the problem that we have discovered. And one of the NGOs that kind of approached us in wanting to really build some technology to solve this problem is Avanti Fellows. So I'll just explain briefly their use case. They need to manage about 100 groups of students, 100 groups which are of like different, like maybe 9, 10, 10th and 11th standard students. And they need to send weekly messages and nudges to them, like maybe more than once in a week. And the idea is like they send links to their platform on which the students can go and then finish some maths exercise or physics exercise, what they call as plyo. And then they need to, once they finish the exercise, they need the students send back the badge, or like something that they've received from the platform, as a way to kind of like get others students also to share and start doing it in the group. So this is what the use case from Avanti Fellows is. This year they had about 100 groups, and next year they will have about 200 groups. And then that, as you can imagine, it will become extremely difficult for a team to go into each group and message. And then once at that skill, it's almost so difficult to get the analytics of what's happening in the groups at a high level. So that's the problem statement we began with. And we introduced the feature for WhatsApp groups automation. So this is what so apart from what I showed earlier, apart from this architecture, which is mostly like a official offering of WhatsApp Business API, we have also parallelly built in Glyphic platform a third-party integration called a MateAPI. So we'll be using this MateAPI to so NGOs can then use Glyphic platform. They need to do is create messages and receive messages, and obviously all this stuff happens in background. But this just explains you any messages you send will be routed through MateAPI into the WhatsApp and it will be delivered to the groups. And then whatever activity is happening within the groups via WhatsApp and through MateAPI, this comes back into your Glyphic platform. So you have like one place where you can see like manage things like scheduling messages, receiving messages, and then seeing the analytics of what's happening in all the groups that your phone number is part of. So I'll quickly do like a one slide on what MateAPI is. Basically, it's a MateAPI is another service. It emulates a virtual WhatsApp web environment for your linked phone number. So you basically essentially have to link a phone number to this third party, and what it does is it creates like a WhatsApp web environment, and then and it looks for all your groups, and it scrapes the messages and other information of the group contacts who are part of the groups, and allows you to do things like sending messages by doing web scraping kind of a thing. So this is what MateAPI does in link with this thing. So what we are able to do using this is in the first version, and we wanted to do like a quick proof of concept. So to reduce the manual effort, sending and receiving messages and media. So across all the groups you have from one platform, you can send messages to multiple groups, schedule messages and media in advance, and then read or receive all the messages from across all the groups, have that to a database, and from that database be able to visualize what's the activity happening inside your groups. So I'll show also like what the dashboard and things will look like and what kind of analytics you'll be able to see. So this is what it does. Before I proceed ahead, do you have any questions? Like, so this is what the architecture, I mean, just like another diagram for it to look like is. There are WhatsApp groups that you're, Vishwa, you want to quickly ask your question?
Yeah, Tejas, can you just go back to the previous slide?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So here, what do you mean by the addition of a virtual phone into WhatsApp groups? I mean, I didn't understand that.
Got it. So basically, it's like, I mean, it's just for like, as you can see, I have like for a good measure called out virtual. It's not actually a virtual. Basically, you have to have a phone number which
Hmm.
has WhatsApp on it, and that phone number has to be part of your all your WhatsApp groups. What we do then, just the reason why we are calling it virtual is we link that phone number to your to this MateAPI account. Then what
And
that
this
does is,
should be different than our bot number, right?
yeah. So chatbot is completely different. Like that's why I
Hmm.
shared the context. And so this is like a separate number. It can be your personal
Hmm.
number or your organization phone number that you have, and you can use to communicate with your beneficiaries. So ideally, it'll definitely not be your chatbot number.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Will be another separate number. Either it can be a virtual personal number, but we obviously recommend it to not be personal number, but like a number that you acquire as an organization, like official. Like maybe there are
Got
official
it.
numbers that people can have.
Hmm. Hmm.
Rajeshwari, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, I wanted to ask that for the MeetApI account, can you only link a singular WhatsApp number or you can also link multiple numbers?
So with one MateAPI account, you can link three numbers. So essentially, at some point in like within a month or so, you can have three active virtual numbers linked to your sorry in your Glyphic, and you should be able to like see all the groups that are part of all the three numbers. Was I able to answer your question, Rajeshwari?
Yes, hi, got it. Yeah.
So yeah, you can have more than one phone number linked to your MeetAPI. You can have up to three as of now. Quickly, we'll go ahead. Imran, you had given a thumbs up. Oh, okay, but not a question. Okay, we'll quickly go ahead. So like what I want to do is like also within the next 15 minutes, we'll quickly do like a live demo as well so that you guys have a better, like a hands-on thing of the thing. So yeah, like, so this is how it looks like, or this is like another way to kind of like understand the what's happening behind the scenes. So there's WhatsApp groups that your phone numbers are part of. So whatever is happening in those WhatsApp groups, like message, like, and with this WhatsApp groups is like other hundreds or, like loads of people that you are in contact with. So when they message in the groups, what happens is this is routed through the WhatsApp web, which is linked to your MateAPI, and then from that it flows into Glyphic, and then from then it goes into the database so that you can then see the analytics. And at the same time, when you want to send a message to the WhatsApp groups, you can create, obviously you can directly send to the WhatsApp groups from your phone number that you have. But if you want to send it to multiple groups at the same time or schedule in advance, you can use then the Glyphic platform. You can use the features of Glyphic platform to then schedule in advance or send it to multiple groups. That is then routed through MateAPI. Through MateAPI, MateAPI will simulate as if it's a WhatsApp web, sending the messages to all these groups. I'll also pause here if there's any questions, and I may have confused some people, but if there's any questions, we can pause here for a minute. Cool. So we can go ahead. So now basically we'll try to like share a demo. So part of, like, you all will be part of this demo. So we kind of like want to make it live, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this should work. So I'm sharing you a group invitation to a group link. Invitation link to a group. This group is created by me, and my virtual phone number is also part of this group. So this is, I hope you can still continue to see my screen though. So once you have joined the group, you can just like put a message like joined or anything like that. So you are all going to be part of this showcase for groups automation, a temporary group. Okay, so right now before we began, I can see like there's like 5 of our team members who are part of it, along with the MateAPI, like my virtual phone number. So hopefully, like, the first action is like all the people who are joined and are part of the group should all their contact info should sync, and we should be able to see that information come up over here. So I mean, so right now it is this is showing all the groups that this phone number, which is linked to the Glyphic platform right now, is part of. So all the phone numbers you can see on the all the groups you can see on the right side. And then if you want to go within each of the groups, and then you can see what are the other group members who are part of it. So this is another testing account. This is the main group that I think you guys are all being invited to. So now you can see like those people who have started joining. We are starting to see their information pop up over here. So this is the first thing, syncing all the contacts and all the who are part of the group, and all the groups that are that the phone number is part of. You should be able to see. Eventually, the idea is once you have up to like 2 or 3 more phone numbers, then you should be able to see a drop down. Like, okay, if I want to see like, okay, only phone number A, how many groups are part of, like how many groups are belonging to the phone number A, or how many. So you should be able to like shortlist based on that and do this thing. You can feel free to kind of like send a message in the group, so that maybe like sending hi or test, like I can also show you from here. So this is like any normal uh, thing would happen, right? Like, so I whatever you are sending, I'm receiving, and I'm able to see it on the platform. And whatever I'm sending, you are able to receive on this thing. So this is so far it's fairly simple and straightforward. But what this allows us to do is then from like extrapolate it to something like a feature of Glyphic already. What is something called as collections. So by collections, we mean it to be group of groups. So if I want to send, let's say, Glyphic test group, showcase groups, and MateAPI testing, these 3 are like common groups. For example, in case of Avanti Fellows, there are they have groups of 9th standard and 10th standard. So they want to message in bulk to 9th standard something, and in 10th standard something else. So it'll be inefficient to go in 100 groups, 50 groups of 9th standard and type that message and send. So what you can do is you can create collections. So right now, in the WhatsApp groups, let's say I go to groups, I go to create, and let's say I go to a new collection. for testing. So I'm just giving a label, and I will save this collection. Now I can add groups to this collection. So so this is one group I want to add to this collection. I want to add another of this testing to the collection. Yeah. So let's say okay, I'll just add one more group just to see, like more than three, more than two. So I save, and now I have a collection where there are three groups that are part of it. And if I send a message in this collection, it should go dynamically to all the three groups. This is testing collection. So like right now, obviously you folks are part of just one of the groups, but maybe I can show you that since I am part of the other two group, I have also got the message in the other two groups. So this is how we can use collections. This is what I mean by, so like sending a message, one message, then you can send to multiple groups. Before I go ahead, yeah, so there are some questions. Before I go ahead, I'll pause, and maybe if you want to ask some questions, we can do that. So Rajeshwari is asking how many groups can be added to one collection. So there is no limit as of now. You can add as many groups as you want. Like, so right now, most people are operating in the range of up to 50 to 100 groups. So yeah, you can add that many numbers to any collections.
They just two clarifying questions. So when you are messaging from the Glyphic platform, and basically what you are doing right now, that message will go from the number that you used to register on MateFT and not your chatbot number, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the other question is, how does it work when we send HSM message? Would it be based on the number of participants for the group, or would it be?
So HSM message is complete. So this is completely different from everything that you, every other thing that you saw about Glyphic so far. This is completely different from that. So this has like no HSM messages, no
Oh,
WAP,
nice.
no.
Cool.
So
Huh.
this is a completely different feature. That's why.
Got it.
No, yeah. So none of the other chatbot related features that like features or constraint that you were thinking, none of those will apply over here. This is a completely different feature altogether. Okay. Cool. So we can go ahead. So yeah. So as you can see, like I sent this message. This is testing for collections, and it was delivered to this group, Meet Happy testing group, and also this another group 21 that I had selected. So this is how what we mean by, like, then you can add multiple groups, and then by sending one message, then it goes to multiple messages. Again, this is same thing can be done for like sending media messages. So the same in the same way, I can either send it. Obviously, in his case, we can't directly upload attachment. We have to use Google Cloud storage account. But that's a caveat we can get into at a later point. But the idea is same. You can also send image, audio, video, document, stickers, these kind of like media things you can send to your groups. There's a small caveat that you should have a Google Cloud storage, and you should be able to and you should upload the media to the bucket and then take a public URL from there. But essentially, the functionality then allows you to send media. And also, if anyone wants to try sending a dummy image, if you have in your phone, or you want to try sending a voice note to the group that you just joined, we can also see that come up, and we should be able to receive that over here. So in a similar way, we can send it to collections also. So if I send it to one like one collection, it should go to all the groups in that collection. So you should have now got that image in your group as well. If anyone wants to try sending, but yeah, like before we go ahead, I'll also again pause, and if you have any questions. If you have no questions, you can also let me know in the chat box, no questions, and I can go ahead. So far we have seen syncing all groups and contacts in those groups. You can receive messages and media, you can send messages and media. And the last bit of what we think is really useful as a, like just starting feature to have for NGOs to, like really automate their group managing of the group's operation is scheduling messages and scheduling media in advance. So imagine if you had to like send 5 messages over the period of next 1 month, and these are something repetitive, then you can just schedule it in advance, and it should, like you should be able to get that done. So I'll just quickly give a quick demo of that as well. For that, we have in Glyphic, there is a functionality called triggering. There are three different functionalities that are combined over here. Yeah, as you can see, some people are starting to send messages in the groups. So you should be able to see all this media. And the eventual goal for this thing is like all this media and all this messages are getting synced to a database. And then from database, you're able to see like, okay, across 50 groups, what's the activity like? How many people actually responded? Distinct people across all the groups have been active in responding, how many messages you have sent. So at that level. But we'll also show you, yeah, in a bit. Saj, can the bot reply to in a message in a group? So Saj, this is essentially not a bot. It's just a way for us to connect a number to some kind of program which reads and then can schedule things in advance. But it won't be able to, as of now, we can't reply or put likes or reactions. But likes and reactions is something we like capturing likes and reactions is something we are hoping in the next round.
சாப்பிட்டியே எதுனா கொடுக்கணும்னு தோணுச்சா
உனக்கு அங்க கப்ல போட்டு வச்சுக்கணும்
predicting dumbbell
I'll just mute Shakti. Cool. So, Saj, I hope I answered your question. Is it possible to send polls? No, Sibyl, right now it's not possible to send polls. But I think that's a good indication for us to, once people start using it, and if there's a requirement coming up, we may want to think about bringing those in. Can we see the kind of data that is being captured? Yeah, Gaurav, I'll towards like in the next 5 minutes after I do the quick demo of the scheduling, I can also show you the DB. Right now it's a template, but that's what it will look like. Not a DB, but right now the dashboard I can show. Yeah. Okay, cool. Sibyl, I hope I answered your question, and also like to Sahaj. Cool. Cool. So let's quickly go ahead. I'll just show you the last functionality of, like say, scheduling messages and media in advance. So these uses like obviously three other functionalities of Glyphic. So first is the flows. So for this, you need to, for now, what we have said is like, let's, like if you create a flow, which is just one message. So it just has to be like either one media message, or one text message. Also, it can be any media, audio, video, anything, but essentially just it has to be one message. If it's more than one message, obviously this will not work in groups. If you create a flow which has just one message, yeah, Shanti, we'll record, the session is being recorded and we'll share. So yeah, we have if you create a flow which has just one message, then and if you have if your group collections are set up, that means you know which collection you want to send the message to. Then you can go to quick tools, you can go to triggers, and you can like set the trigger. So right now I had to set a trigger in the next 10 minutes for a media message to go to that group. Maybe I can edit it and make it like I know in the next 5 minutes. Okay, I'm not able to edit it. Yeah, so maybe I can copy this and schedule it for 4:40. So it should happen in the next 5 minutes. it's going to send to the new collection for testing. So it has all the 3 groups. So by doing something like this, so selecting the flow that you want to send, you can put the date range, you can put the time. If you want to make it repeat, you can select all those kind of things. In the trigger tab, you have to select WhatsApp groups, and then selecting this WhatsApp groups will make all the collections that are part of your WhatsApp groups collections that will come over here, and you can select whichever collection you want to send to, and and then you save the save the trigger. Essentially, then you can do yes, you can send image or you can send text message. It has to be right now one, and if you want to send multiple, you'll have to obviously create multiple triggers. But this is how it's working right now. Cool. So I'll take the question now. Are there any other APIs too that offer WhatsApp group automation other than MeetAPI? Rishabh, there are a few other APIs. We selected MeetAPI because there's another trusted NGO that is using the similar API, and they have been doing it for some time. So that's the major reason. But there are other APIs, and the way we have built it is if like tomorrow, if you want to switch and use another a third-party API, we can make that switch. Cool. So I hope I was able to answer your question. So like maybe in another 3 minutes, you'll get the scheduled message to the groups. But I'll quickly go ahead. So these are all the actions you can do right now. Sync all the groups and contacts, receive messages and media, send messages and media, and schedule messages and media in advance to a group of collections. A group of groups. I'll quickly go to the analytics. So the way we are setting them, and right now it's a template dashboard. Once we start getting usage from Avanti fellows, like within the next 2 weeks, we'll have more data and more information. We'll start syncing the database, and then we'll create and we'll be able to share like an actual dashboard. But right now, this is how we're envisioning this dashboard will look like. So something that at a top line that gives you a high level overview, like total number of WhatsApp groups that are part of your, that are synced in your Glyphic. What are the, total number of distinct contacts who are then associated with your WhatsApp groups. Number of contacts who are sending you message within the given time period. So you know what's the engagement and activity like. Then you have, total members per group. So you get like an overview of how many, which groups are increasing in capacity and things like that. Then another bit is messages sent or received per group. So you have like you get a fair idea about like how many people, how many messages you are sending versus how many people your beneficiaries or contacts or like your community is also sending. So how kind of engaging or, interested they are. And then this is something specific to Avanti fellows, but they want to track like how many media messages were sent by their students. So they are correlating to finishing their activities that they want to do. So once they finish the activity, they get like a badge and they want them to share the badge. So how many media messages are being sent or received? This is what the at least like the first cut of analytics that we'll be we are able to show right now. I'll pause here if you have any questions. If not, we'll go ahead. Okay, so we'll quickly go ahead. So this is what the next bit is for us. We have a few organizations who are interested, but we are open to having more beta users to ensure that like what we have built is stable and it can scale. So obviously we don't want to take like this is still under, like, how do you say, like it's been less than a week since it's like complete, and we are sure that once people start using it, there may be some issues that come up when you start taking it to like, okay, 5 groups, 10 groups, 15, 20, 30 groups, and then the number of contacts increase, and then also complexity of what actions you want to do, like sending polls, if you want to send things like that. So that also will increase, and we are open to kind of like like getting those requirements, at least understanding what there is and figure out how we can support NGOs to achieve that. And upcoming features right now, what we are seeing is like linking to the database, all the messages that are getting received, having a dashboard showing actual data. This is what you saw was a template of what we want to show. Then things like if you fail, if sending a message fails in the groups, you should be able to get notification so that you are then able to do that manually. Then reactions to messages, and then things like moderation, and like how if you can automate some of these the group admin actions. But these are all it's like a wish list, and depending on how what the feedback is on the from the NGOs who are using it, and what are some other things that they want us to prioritize, we'll take that up. But yeah, this is what it looks like right now. Yeah, we have kind of like gone through the showcase. We can take questions now. And if you want me to go back to any of the other slides and to show you what it was, happy to do that as well. Yeah, Gaurav.
Hey Tejas, thanks for the presentation. Just one small request, can you go back to the slides where you showed the sort of data that can be captured and the metrics that can be measured?
Yeah. Let me pull up my screen. Cool. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll anyways share the slides with all of you folks as well. Yeah, but yeah, we can show you now also. Just give me a minute. Can you see my screen now?
I can.
Yeah. So
As per groups, we have messages incoming and outgoing, right?
this is one bit, and then the next bit, like messages sent and received per group.
Sure. So are
And
we, yeah, I'm like mainly coming from a perspective that currently with Glyphic, we can see a lot more data, right? Like contact level information, we can see messages level information. If the messages has failed, we can see that as well. So
yeah.
are we looking at maybe, getting more data in the next set of phases from in the implementation? Or do you think there will be like a limit? Because like, let's say that hypothetically, as of today, per contact, there is some information like it's a Gaurav's, there are a couple of contact level information that we add in flows, and that is seen in the contact table, right? Uh, do you think that sort of information will be captured on a group level, that let's say 100 members in a group and their information, etc.?
It's can't tell right now, but there are certain things. I mean, there are limitations from of the third party API that we're using and the groups thing in general. So I will not be able to comment right now how much we can capture at a contact level, how much we can't. So it could be possible to capture, but then right now I can't comment.
Understood. Like, again, I think here we can see that there are, say, let's say, messages sent, received, overall metrics we can see, but maybe not like how many messages have been received from Gaurav or sent to Gaurav. Sent to Gaurav is fine, but maybe received from Gaurav. I don't think that level of information also we can capture. Can we?
Yeah, it depends on, it should be possible, like just the way you described, like just that one specific bit. But yeah, right now we have just made it a template, sorry, a generic one. It should be possible, but like I can't comment on like what, like how the Glyphix contact tables looks like, if it can reach that level.
Understood.
Only because it's like in Glyphic you're actually chatting one-on-one with the user, right?
Right.
And but here it's like a group thing, so it's a bit more complex. And also like there are WhatsApp Business API allows you to actually collect all this information. This is like a third party integration, which is not an official WhatsApp offering. So there may be so that's why right now I cannot comment on whether it's possible or no.
Understood. So I'll just give you
It's
context.
unlikely.
Sorry.
So what you're describing, at least to the glyph, like to the WhatsApp chatbot level, it seems unlikely. Like yeah, it will be like
Understood.
some not like at that level, probably like capturing that much information from a user from at a contact level will be possible in this one.
Understood. The context being that if you're trying to think about the features that we can have with the group, we also want to see what sort of insights can we get out of that. And the data really helps the data that we get from BigQuery as of today really helps us. So just wanted to think from that perspective. Maybe I would like to get in touch with you on one-on-one basis to see if the metrics that I am still thinking can be captured using group or not in the future as well.
Sure, sure.
Sure. Thanks, Tejas.
Yeah, welcome. Vishwa?
Yeah, I typed my questions on the chat, Tejas.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, does our number have to be admin on all of these groups, or we just being normal members are enough? I don't know if you already mentioned around this.
No, I didn't mention. It does not have to be an admin. It can be a normal number also.
Normal member. Okay. And for dashboard and storage, we're using similar structure that we've used for the chatbot, right? Like BigQuery and Google Industry.
Correct. So when we are continue to use like similar concepts as the Glyphic chatbot, just extrapolating it for this one. Sani is saying, can we see how many members have seen the message in the group? So seen is not possible. It's a limitation from MateAPI. Like we get, but it's possible to see delivered. So yeah, the seen message bit is like how you see in your WhatsApp groups. Like if you go double click into a message and see the analytics of that, that response we don't get from MateAPI. That information is not captured by MateAPI as you saw. You link the phone to that thing, right? So that is right now not possible, Sani. Answering now for Imran. Imran asking, so can we create default replies or groups, or we have to send reply manually? So reply sending is right now manual only. This will not automatically reply to something or someone. This is just to automate, like sending in advance and receiving all the messages and seeing the insights. The responding to a certain message is something we'll have to think more about, like, because do you want to respond to every message? Do you wanted to respond to only certain messages which are not there? I mean, not like according to the community guidelines, and then what to respond. So all those things not yet really like solved. But then if there's a use case that you may have and where you can think about like, okay, this is the paradigm we need to solve for, then in that case, we can think about how to go about it. So right now, Imran, in long story short, right now we can't by default reply to messages. It will have to be typed and sent. This is only to schedule things in advance. I hope I answered your question, Imran.
Yes. Okay.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Any other questions? Happy to take up any more questions. We have about like 10 minutes more. So Sani is asking how many groups can be part of a single collection, and are there any limitations per Glyphic account? Sani, like multiple groups can be part of a single collection, so that's not a problem. Are there any limitations per Glyphic account? I didn't understand your question. Maybe the second bit you can unmute and share.
Yeah, I mean, I meant to ask. I work with the organization which has multiple teams, and multiple teams operate many different groups. So I'm just trying to figure out how it would look logistically for an organization.
Ah.
And
So
otherwise, how? Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, any like any number of people of your team member can log on to the Glyphic platform. But you and you can have So any like let's say you have like 10 team member, like let's say 5 team members who kind of like look at the WhatsApp chat, like the groups that you guys are working on. So any of the all these 5 and even more in future can log on to the Glyphic platform, like the platform which I just showed you. Any of you, I mean, you can have your like, so it'll be like you have your own separate Glyphic platform instance, and anyone can log into that. And when they message from the Glyphic platform, create a message or like schedule a message in advance, it will look like the number that you have linked to MateAPI that is sending the message. So, and in MateAPI, the limitation is about up to 3 numbers can be linked like at a given time.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Sybil?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to type this out, but I was trying to understand the relation between Gupshup, Glyphic, and MateAPI. So from what you understand, like the seen message is not visible, right? Which is something that is although available on Gupshup. So is
Yeah.
it that this is a separate platform entirely? Okay, so
Yeah.
this would have to have like a separate wallet balance or something?
Yeah. So there is no link between Gupshup and MateAPI. These are two completely separate entities. For those who are using Glyphic, it will be a bit confusing. For those who are not, don't get confused by Gupshup. You can just think about this thing as a something you can do to automate operations in the WhatsApp groups. So this is completely separate from Gupshup. And in order, like, so here so Sybil, here the financials is basically you have to pay like a monthly sum of $30 to MateAPI. And then if you pay that, then you can have one number. So you can have up to 3 numbers. And for each new number, you have to have $30, a monthly subscription of $30.
Okay, and is there a limit on the number of messages per number? No.
It's like 6,000 messages sent per day. So
Oh, okay.
it's likely not going to reach that limit.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So this is completely separate from, so if you decide to do this, then it's like a separate subscription you have to take from MateAPI, and you have to then pay $30 per month. But to get started and to test, you can test it for free, and like you can create like a free account, and you can link a number, and it stays active for 3 days. So you can create this thing. Is there a separate user role on Glyphic to manage groups? I mean, yeah, like slightly, like I think it'll be like a manager or admin level role. But yeah, like, but if like right now it's like like only those who want to test it out. Once you request, like let's say if Antarang wants to test this out, and you already have a Glyphic account, so you may have to like like we'll just have to enable this for you, so then you will be able to see Antarang on your Glyphic instance. You'll be able to see the WhatsApp groups wala feature, and then yeah, anyone who can. Sibylla, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, one more thing. I noticed like on the main page where you were looking at the chats, there was a sync button. Would that have to be, is that something that has to be done regularly to get updated chats, or just if you need immediate?
Yeah, it's only like the sync is just so that like like another manual way to kind of sync things, but you don't have to do it like you don't have to do it as a thing to get chats or anything like that. So but only thing is like suppose if I add something immediately, and if I want to like if this number got added to a new group, and if I'm not seeing, so it's just like I might just do sync to just kind of like make sure that things are updated. But you don't have to do this. It's a way to kind of like like if something you want to see at an immediate level, if this number go added or removed from a group, and that is not getting reflected over here. Usually it's like a cron job, so it might reflect after like let's say an hour or 45 minutes, like like things like just syncing all the groups at the same time, all like all the contacts who are part of the group. So just getting that information, but messages and all those things you'll be receiving in real time. Only things like, okay, if I want to like suppose right now if you left this group, maybe it may not reflect immediately if you left this group. Then in that case, I may have to sync and just see the latest information.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we have 5 more minutes if anyone wants to ask any more questions.
Teachers, very basic question. So as you mentioned, we can send messages and even schedule messages to different groups and even collection of group from the platform. Is it even possible that we can do it from the phone, like using using a normal WhatsApp account?
Yeah, it's not possible. That's why we had to create this platform.
We have to create.
Yeah. So even in MateAppy, it's not possible. So like one of the main problems that we are trying to solve is, like there are repetitive messages that have to be sent. Or like, so how can we reduce that manual effort? And then obviously like this sets up a base, but eventually doing things like, like moderating or like responding to certain messages, responding by reactions to certain messages. If you're able to read the messages like which are getting into a database, so like then it just opens the door for doing more automation and, like easing people effort in and responding to people.
Okay, actually, let me rephrase my question. Basically, what I was trying to understand is whoever we would be thinking that, who would be managing this different group and, activities on this group, can that person manage it through the WhatsApp phone? WhatsApp directly on phone, or would that person always should be, oriented with the Glyphic platform to even send normal messages, just sending messages to different.
No, you can always send messages from your, like suppose that virtual phone number, you you have a separate phone and a WhatsApp on that phone. You can always send messages. Like it'll be like a normal WhatsApp sending messages to this thing.
Got it. I think I got my answer. Yeah. ठीक.
Yeah. So yeah, it won't take away from the phone that the WhatsApp is in. This just allows you to give another place from where you can do other things like schedule messages and all that. Yeah. Cool. Is there any so another question from Sibyl. If there are multiple virtual numbers, it's also possible to choose which number to send message from. Yeah, Sibyl, so that's possible. Yeah, I can just quickly show you my screen. But yeah, like so the idea is like obviously here the catch is like you can only send a message from the phone number to the group that the phone number is part of, right? So we have like if there are multiple phone numbers linked, let's say we want to choose this phone number and you want to send this message as a phone number to this group, so that's possible to do that. I mean, sorry, I didn't want to confuse you, but the idea is like you can select the phone number you want to send it, but obviously the catch is it has to be that phone number has to be part of that group. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think this was a pretty good session. For those people who have not yet have a Glyphic platform. If you want to connect further and you want to discuss, I'll share my email ID. And if you have any further questions and if you have if you want to connect and you want to get like a separate demo, we'll be happy to kind of entertain that as well. So yeah, here is I've shared my email in the link in the chat box, and yeah, if you want to connect later, we are happy to connect and figure out if this can be of help to you. Okay, I think with that we have come to the end of this webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, we'll be in touch.